Can you believe that a crudely animated set of shorts created by cartoonist Matt Groening for a struggling variety program would grow into the longest running scripted primetime series in American television history? From its modest beginnings on The Tracey Ullman Show in 1987 to its current status as a global multimedia empire, The Simpsons has defined generations as a dominant force. It helped reshape entertainment, marketing, and pop culture on a scale few series have ever achieved. Let's take a deep dive through the history of The Simpsons. The show began as a series of animated shorts that made its debut on April 19th, 1987. Groening was already known for his comic strip Life in Hell and quickly sketched the Simpsons family, Homer, Marge, Bart, Lisa, and Maggie, while waiting to pitch an idea. Rather than adapt his comic, he created a dysfunctional but oddly loving nuclear family named after his own relatives. The shorts were crudely animated but had sharp humor and it stood out immediately. The transition to a half-hour series came with the Christmas special Simpsons Roasting on an Open Fire, which aired on December 17th, 1989. That episode effectively launched the series and marked a turning point for the young Fox network. At a time when animation was largely seen as children's programming, The Simpsons boldly targeted adults with satire, social commentary, and emotional storytelling. By the early 1990s, the show exploded into the mainstream. Bart Simpson became the cultural lightning rod, with his catchphrases like "Eat My Shorts" adorned on t shirts worn by millions of kids, which of course would promptly cause controversy in school. This period, often called Bartmania, represented one of the earliest examples of a television character becoming a global merchandising icon almost overnight. The show's irreverent tone and critique of authority resonated deeply with Generation X, helping Fox compete with the already established networks. During its so called golden age, which is roughly between seasons 2 and 8, in the mid 1990s, The Simpsons reached extraordinary creative heights, with incredible writers like Conan O'Brien and others who would craftily absurd humor and emotional depth. Landmark episodes like Marge vs. the Monorail, Homer at Bat, and Cape Fear demonstrated the show's range, from musical parody to sports satire to Hitchcock homage. Critics hailed it as one of the smartest programs on television, and it consistently ranked among the top shows of the decade. Awards and recognition would follow. The series earned dozens of Primetime Emmy Awards, Annie Awards, Peabody Awards, and in 1999, Time magazine named it the best television show of the 20th century. Heck, it was so mainstream that Homer's catchphrase "dough" would even make it into the Oxford Dictionary, showcasing once again how relevant The Simpsons were. A major contributor to its staying power has been its annual Treehouse of Horror specials, Halloween specials that began in 1990. These anthology episodes allowed the writers to experiment wildly with horror, science fiction, and fantasy parodies outside the norm, which allowed them to be more freely utilizing concepts like a parody of The Twilight Zone or The Shining, and countless other works that would be showcased within the Treehouse of Horror specials. Beyond just Halloween, the series produced numerous themed episodes, specials, and clip shows, all of which would create crossovers and excitement for fandoms across the board. Nobody did a television special better than The Simpsons throughout the 90s and early 2000s. The 1990s were undeniably the decade when The Simpsons took over. It battled powerhouse programs in ratings, sometimes even challenging NBC's The Cosby Show. It became Fox's flagship property, anchoring Sunday nights and launching the network into legitimacy. Syndication deals in the mid 1990s brought the show to local stations across America, increasing its reach and profitability. By the end of the decade, Springfield was everywhere. Merchandising would amplify that presence. Within the first year of full broadcast, The Simpsons generated hundreds of millions of dollars in merchandise revenue. Everything from apparel to lunchboxes to action figures to video games to comic books and books. Everything and anything you can imagine had one of the Simpsons characters on it. Bart Simpson was not only the most appealing character for merchandising, he was utilized all throughout the world. Everybody knew who Bart Simpson was. He became one of the most important cartoon characters in the recent decades. The franchise would expand globally. The show was translated into dozens of languages and broadcast in over 100 countries. Its universal themes, family dysfunction, and bureaucratic absurdity was what proved to be adaptable worldwide. International audiences embraced the satire, even when it came to references just to America. In 2007, the franchise would take its biggest leap, the big screen. The Simpsons movie would premiere. The film was a box office success. It was a long time coming, with $500 million grossing worldwide. Its marketing campaign was famously elaborate, with select 7-Eleven stores being transformed into real-life Quickie Mart, selling Buzz Cola and Krusty O's. The campaign blurred the line of fiction and reality, exemplifying how deeply the brand could integrate into everyday life. Theme park attractions would follow, with the Simpsons ride opening in Universal Studios parks, which allowed fans to physically enter Springfield. The recreation of Moe's Tavern and other landmarks extended the show's immersive presence. The show's longevity is staggering. It just surpassed 800 episodes, and now that Disney has the ownership of 21st Century Fox, it is sure that The Simpsons will continue. They will continue through shorts and even new episodes. So there's many questions of what the future may hold. Through DVD box sets to television specials to clothing, The Simpsons has endured it all. The Simpsons has become one of the most important franchises in the history of television. There's no doubt that these characters will live on forever. Thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below what your favorite Simpsons episode is. We'd love to hear from all of you. Thank you again. We appreciate all of you. Believable truths.